hoodie.
Sure.
This is going to close ahead of my car.
All right, we're live.
All
All
right.
right, folks, I'd like to get started. Welcome everybody to our last meeting of the year. I'd like to move for the approval of the May 20, 2024 minutes.
I move that we approve.
Thank you. Right. Have been approved. I'd like to move to public comment. All right. I'd like to move to the presentation by the legal project.
Hi. I don't have a presentation, but I'm hoping this is the beginning of a conversation we can have, introduce myself and the legal project, what we do and what we hope to do in the future. So my name is Monique Barbero. I am the relatively new CEO of the legal project. We're currently located on Aviation Road. We provide not-for-profit civil legal services, so everything that's not criminal. And we have a very unique model, which is that we are your lawyer from beginning to end. And it's zero payment. So we are funded over 95% grant funded, and the rest of it is donation. So once you're a client, you are the client till the bitter end, however it turns out one way or the other. And that's very important because you'll go to legal aid, you might get a consult, but they won't necessarily be your lawyer until the issue is finished. So we're very different in how we approach things. We help with domestic violence, human trafficking, homeowner protection, elderly. We are the only legal services provider in Albany for both elder law, so legal issues, legal representation, and for domestic violence. So and a lot of people don't realize that. They don't really know what we do, always how we're different than legal aid, and the difference in what the services we provide. We are also going to be expanding into, from homeowner protection, also emergency rental assistance programming, and that will be for undocumented persons. So we will be a subcontractor to legal aid because of how they receive their money. They can't do work with undocumented persons. We also work with immigration, and we do a lot of the immigration work for undocumented that they cannot do. Because of how they get their federal funding, they are prohibited from providing certain services in their legal aid funding. And we also have a number of pro bono attorneys that we hold clinics for things that people can do for themselves, like a no contest divorce, things like that. We can help people walk through the paperwork. We also do legally speaking, which is a presentation on legal topics, to educate people about particular legal topics. We've been around for 30 years, started as a volunteer-only program, and now we have a number of grants for various programs. One of the things that we feel strongly about is that housing is a human right, and people should have housing, and they should have assistance in retaining the housing they have. So homeowners can get, pardon my language, screwed over, if you would, by the lenders, because lenders are a business to make money. You only have to look at your credit card interest at 25% to understand what they're trying to do. And so we help people who are in danger of losing their homes, and we help them try and retain their homes. Often there'll be people who run out of money that used all their money up on a lawyer and can't afford one anymore. And we also will help with bankruptcy referrals because a lot of people who have homeowner problems also have bankruptcy issues, and so the two often go hand in hand. And we would like to expand into rental assistance because there's a lack of affordable housing, both to buy and rent, and landlords squeeze in many different respects. There's no right to counsel in housing court. If you go to a town or village court, there may not even be a lawyer on the other side, and they don't even know what they're talking about. A little bit different here in Albany, but at a town or village court, you're not even going to have a lawyer. It could be a dental assistant, literally, who is acting, making decisions. So we believe it's just important to strengthen that, and we're here to help as we can, answer questions, and would like to work with you if there's an opportunity.
So on your journey of getting more assistance with rental assistance, what needs do you have or feel
Well, it's always, lawyers cost money,
Sure.
and even our lawyers cost money.
Yeah.
We may not get paid what other people pay, but so often it's money so that we can hire the people to be lawyers for those who need representation.
Sure.
So for us, it's usually, and Gail, can help answer.
Yeah, I
that
mean, it would be, like, it's the funding to get the program started, and Legal Aid's been doing most of the landlord-tenant work locally anyway. I do foreclosure prevention, so I know a lot of times that's the issue. It's the people, if they did want to leave their home even and do it in a meaningful way, there's no available housing for them to rent at a reasonable price. We just had a meeting this morning, and the housing agency in Troy, TRIP, and the housing agency here, and they're reporting that they have so many people coming to them cannot find affordable housing to rent. So at least with the homeowner protection program, trying to prevent foreclosures, we try to keep people in their homes so they do have housing.
Sure.
Make it affordable.
Because even if
So
they're
it's
to
really,
lose their housing, they can't afford to go rent.
and then, you know, it's better to have somebody living in their home than having a vacant house in the neighborhood with, subject to maybe because once the bank evicts somebody from the house, half the time it sits there vacant, sometimes for years,
So, sure.
to the neighborhood.
And to give you an idea of the impact of what the dollars have, so every dollar of homeowner protection money that's spent is a $10 return in this community. And every dollar of legal assistance that, goes to just generally our organizations, and we're a coalition of about 75, not that everyone's in the coalition, but there are about 75 not-for-profit legal service providers in the state of New York. And it's a 5-to-1 return. So every dollar spent on civil legal services gives back $5 to the community. So it is not for nothing.
Yeah.
It's actually a good investment. It is good to invest in people. There's a return to the community.
So,
Anyhow, that's just I can talk forever about that.
if somebody that didn't have a law degree, but they wanted to volunteer for your organization, what are some roles or titles that they?
So for volunteering now, most of the non-lawyer volunteers have been volunteering in the immigration program because we've had such a flood of immigrants. We train them to help fill out the paperwork, and if someone knows a second language, to be a translator. So we always need volunteer translators, actually, even in other programs, because language is often a barrier. So we do look for translators on a regular basis. And most of and we can sometimes for the clinics need non-legal volunteers to make copies and do other things. But in immigration, you can learn how to help someone fill out the paperwork, because it's the same paperwork over and over again. And once you learn how to do it, you can help somebody, especially when it's temporary protected status. You don't really need any legal knowledge to fill that one out. It's mostly a question and answer or filling in dates and names and things like that. And asylum is a little bit different because you have to make a good argument for asylum in the paperwork.
Is there funding currently pending in county legislature, EPIC program that would?
Well, we have the RFP for that, but I don't know if
I would say it was
our
really
program
not,
doesn't fit
it
into it.
seems like it's sort of custom written for,
Someone else?
yeah.
And was there, I think there was money in the city budget also that was supposed to match the county money? Related to the EPIC
For
program?
the EPIC.
The county, some money for the street treatment program.
No, I think it was like kind of assistance money that.
There may be, I may not be familiar with it, but I can.
Yeah.
But the RFP.
Yeah, it was sort of custom written, so we looked at it, and I don't think that we would be necessarily, we will get the ERAP money for the undocumented persons. We will have a contract with Legal Aid for that work, but we are looking to continue to expand that either to other counties or to also do rental assistance, because there's a lot of need. And a lot of people have to go into court with no lawyer, which often does not work in the paper. The data shows, I can get the white paper, but the data shows that when people go into court for rental issues and they have a lawyer, that there's a much higher chance of success.
A huge difference, and I know in my program with the foreclosure prevention, a lot of times they get a notice to come to court. It's all virtual now for an initial conference, and half the people, they're afraid to go.
Sure.
They hear court, and it scares them, so they just ignore it. And when they finally get to us and we say, no, there may be help there for you, but we need to
show up.
Yeah. And they just say, I was too scared to go. Because the bank attorneys, or the bank representatives, I should say, not even banks, but whoever these
Lenders.
lenders, these
Lenders.
big trusts that hold these mortgages, you know, tell people you're in foreclosure, you don't have any alternative.
And that's not true frequently.
Do you get a lot of seniors that come through your agency?
A lot of what?
Seniors.
A fair amount. Now, you know, sometimes we can refer them for like a reverse mortgage to get out of the foreclosure. We get a fair amount of seniors that come in.
Not only, and we also get seniors that might come in through our elder law assistance and get referred to either domestic violence, or they get referred to homeowner protection, so they might come in through elder law, because we'll help people with a will, with Medicaid eligibility, but they may get referred, because sometimes there's
Is the only avenue for them if something's wrong, to do a reverse, what is it?
A reverse mortgage, a home equity line, or a home equity
If they
line.
have an elder spouse, and something happens to the person that signed that document, that means that money's due upon the death of that person.
Not if it's an eligible spouse. And the spouse gets, I think they have up to a year to try and resolve it.
Yeah, but sometimes that's
Sometimes
a
it's not
burden.
enough, but,
why you need
yeah,
help. Yeah.
yeah.
A lot of stress.
It is a lot of stress. A lot of the homeowners that come, they're just stressed. They don't know what to do. They're afraid and they're stressed. And a lot of times something can be worked out for them. Most of the time.
Most of the time, yeah.
Do some people that come through your program, do they eventually may have to move or need an
Well,
apartment?
some people actually say, I can't afford the house anymore anyway. It's too big, or and I just want to let it go. So we try to work with them to get a reasonable resolution, to give them time to relocate and to find another place and to work it out that's in their best interest and what they really want to have happen. That's our goal.
I mean, they're our clients, so we try to work with them, whatever their goal is.
And I can also say that there's a big interplay between a lot of estates, where people die and the property goes, nobody has a will anymore, and the property is, so that's always, that's an issue with a lot of foreclosures also.
And it's one of the reasons we're trying to encourage people to have wills, or if you have Medicaid, to put the house into a trust or to protect the asset before you get to a certain age, so that a surviving spouse or the family can, if it's family wealth, it can stay on the house.
Oh, I think this is great. I would love to continue to work with you. I'm thinking maybe seeing about maybe doing like a larger presentation when the
That would be great,
And we-
maybe I could also,
Public-
maybe I could also mention this, that anybody that has any whether they're,
Here are my cards.
they can call and have a free consultation
Right.
with an attorney, regardless of what the issue is, whether it's in our office with our in-house attorney or in a clinic setting with an attorney who practices in that area in the private practice area.
I'm
So they can get legal advice with a consultation.
I mean, for a domestic violence consultation, we'll do it from anywhere in the country. We may not be able to represent them, but we will talk to anybody and try and get them to service, which is very unique, by the way.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Yeah.
Really lovely.
Yeah, so I'm thinking maybe for those who are on the event committee too, maybe somehow we get in touch with the legal project and start to formulate something for in the fall.
That'd be great.
I don't know if how we can rent out the rotunda and open it up to the public and have you do a presentation.
That'd be great, and then, and if they went to other areas besides housing, or,
Right, we could
have all
have-
the areas that we could send a
We could
representative.
bring domestic violence, which is often interplays with housing, and, you know,
a lot.
there's a huge, and also immigration. You know,
Do you do all Capital District, or is it only?
Oh, no, we have our catchment area is quite large.
Yeah.
Is it total of 7 counties?
I don't know,
Yeah,
Greene, Columbia, Albany, Rensselaer, Fulton,
Schoharie.
Schoharie, Washington, Saratoga, Warren, Essex once in a while. So, yeah, if they call us, we try to figure out a way to represent.
And the other thing we do, which is bankruptcy,
I was just gonna mention that.
Extremely important, not just for people who own houses, but, for example, legal aid has about 3 bankruptcy opens a month. If you don't get in line that day, so we end up with the people who get turned away.
And we also have, there's 2 different chapters primarily for individuals, Chapter 7 and Chapter 13. With the Chapter 7, which is the discharge of your debts, we have a panel of pro bono attorneys who, if the people are eligible, will handle the Chapter 7 for no legal fee.
Yeah.
And they can all get a free consultation regardless.
Our housing advocate for the city, Ashley Hillard.
No.
I'd love to text you with her by email because we have one employee, and a whole department, our Department of Neighborhood Services, helps with housing issues for our residents, but she's really kind of a concierge role to support various situations. She does a lot of referrals out, coming in, and sometimes it's housing related, sometimes it's other issues.
We should have a-
trust.
yeah.
So I will have her connect with you so she knows.
That would be wonderful.
And
Yeah.
she's often the first line that people call.
Yeah.
Have you done anything with education and sponsorship in relation to
We have not yet. We also don't have any funding for education right now, like in terms of our grant funding. And when we do the bigger presentation, we can show you where we get what our current grant funding is. One of the things, the IOLA money is coming up, and they're going to do a 5-year RFP. So we're going to ask for enhanced funding. There are unserved counties with zero legal representation in this area, so we're going to ask for DV funding for those counties. And we want more money for elder law because we would like to do elder abuse, and we would like to also help with Medicare and Medicaid claims. A lot of people get Medicare denied, and then the state bears the burden when Medicaid shouldn't be. Also, the burden on the county. So those are the areas in which we'd really like to expand, and I think Albany in particular could really benefit from more elder services.
Anything with custody?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's the divorce, we absolutely do
But
custody
that-
to qualify for the program.
If it's a divorce.
No, but it's domestic violence
Yeah,
based.
if it's domestic violence, we definitely help with custody.
Great.
Yeah.
Yes, thank
I
you.
mean, we will support a DV victim through divorce, custody, if she or he or they are still harassed and stalked post that, we will continue to help them with that. So there's not an end to what we do to support a victim.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, I think,
Yes. Among others, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because we have human trafficking as well as we work with.
I think what is just really, really great, and I think, so I guess
Yeah.
somebody from our bank committee will reach out to you about
Yep.
a time and a day for you to come out and
Yeah.
do a presentation out here for us
Love to.
and for the community and how we can advertise that too.
Yep.
So,
Yeah,
no, thank
that'd
you.
be great.
And we have, just to let you know, in October, what is that, Friday, October 25th, we have our Justice for All breakfast that we'll be having, and there'll be other people from the community, some of our sponsors and supporters, so anyone here would be invited to that. So to the extent you want to share your name or your email address, we'll add you to our contact list in terms of our overall content, and make sure if you want to come to the breakfast, you can. So it should be pretty interesting. We're going to have a few speakers.
Kate will remind us all, I'm sure.
Yeah, she will. She won't let you forget.
Send me the
Yeah.
emails, yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
Welcome.
Thank
I
you.
look forward to speaking with you some more.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time.
No, thank you. All right.
Thank you, Mark.
Looking forward to any
All right, thank you.
last questions about the legal project?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
One suggestion, and actually, they are one of the resources we're listing.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Oh, well, we can add that.
And next, I'll have Kate bring some brochures, legal
Yeah.
project brochures. We just have our new content and our new brochures are done, so we can bring those in, and you can hand them out to people, keep them for yourself, get our information to you.
yeah, thank you. All right.
Yeah, just a potential forum, coordinated with Neighborhood Services, because they're doing the fair housing, they're taking it. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of loud. In terms of a potential forum, coordinating with Neighborhood Services, they're working with a lot of those agencies, and they did have a forum more geared toward providers, I think. I forget. Yeah.
Different types of engagement.
But I'm thinking of something that is a broader public forum, where we invite people in, legal project, other organizations coordinating that are involved, but also include maybe a presentation on good cause eviction as well, because that's part, again, tenant rights.
Sure.
So,
Yes.
Yeah,
Good.
and we've asked Faye, I think their team is looking at September meeting to do a presentation in here, because I know there's summer break and they couldn't make this meeting, but, you can also meet, we'll have them come in and talk to the commission, and then we can set something up, maybe we can do
Are
like.
they doing like a public presentation or larger? Because that's maybe, can we then co-sponsor?
Yeah, I mean, well,
and
this-
get some input on
They're
it?
coming in to speak for the Commission on Human Rights.
Oh, okay.
We could certainly, and then
Yeah.
work with them, they schedule stuff all the time, so we
Yeah.
can kind of figure out, a sort of program that we want, you know, with a few different items, I'm sure they'd be willing.
Yeah.
But this would be a good public forum for the commission, either here or
Yeah.
at Henry Johnson, which is a lot bigger.
No, I think that would be, I think, those who are on, who's on the bank committee?
You, me, Richard. I think we suckered you in at the last one. I know it's mostly you. I think it's mostly you, me.
Like, who's on, supposed to be good?
Oh, sure.
Talking about myself.
You are too, are you kidding?
Okay.
That's a very dangerous word. Yeah, I guess, so for those who are on the bank committee, we can meet and gather, sometime in the summer.
Summer, do a
Yeah,
call.
over summer to talk about what that presentation will look like. This will be good. All right, moving on to old business. The
Terrible.
review of the 2024 Human Rights Recognition Reception. Who has thoughts?
I think that Bailey and the team
Yes.
did did a phenomenal
Fabulous.
job. I received a lot of positive feedback
Yes.
from the people who were there. Everybody loved it. They thought it was a little bit more intimate than years
Yeah.
past, but it was extremely meaningful, and I think it planted a lot of seeds of hope in the people who attended.
Absolutely.
So, again, amazing.
Yeah, I agree, and I think every year when we do it, it's always, you'll get well reception about it, and, it's very exactly like you said, people that, didn't know about what we did and more, and just seeing people recognize, it's going really, really well.
I think so we'll have some photos soon. I think,
Sure.
Nyla from our team was taking pictures, and
Yes.
she said she would drop them in a folder, so I'll share that with you. We'll share it with some of the award winners and the people who nominated them. But we might want to consider moving it up in the year. I found
Yeah.
that when Bailey was doing and collecting all the RSVPs, everything happens in June.
It's a busy meeting.
And with Juneteenth, with just the start of kind of more of a summer event season, I would recommend for more attendance, maybe we adjust the timing, but,
Yeah,
Sure.
you know, we have a great time.
maybe April.
Yeah.
I think we had it,
Yes.
yeah, I think, like we had it in April.
Maybe in
Yeah,
February.
we moved it.
No, we moved it.
Yeah, we did, we moved it.
Late started getting it together.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm all for that. Too, and I think that's, open for those who are on the reception committee, like, feel free to meet and discuss before, and all committees, if you feel, you have an idea or something that comes up, or you notice something, or somebody brings something to your attention, feel free to be like, hey, can we meet to discuss that, or maybe so for those who are on the reception committee, want to meet and kind of decide what month and what time in that month might be better, by all means, feel free to do so. But I agree, I think, who has social media?
Well, we do, but that's another, comes to another issue, problem we have.
So,
So.
to get those
one of
pictures.
I got it.
Yeah. We still don't have we've got to figure out in terms of access to the Facebook page, and whatever, because we still,
I mean, the letter, we'll resend it maybe from the lawyers, but we've
Yeah.
sent a couple of these letters through the Facebook sort of give me my account back
And nothing.
channel
Yeah.
and nothing.
Because they're probably responding to the email that's on file for the account.
No, there's a process to get it back if you don't have the email, yes. Law helps us write a letter. I have reached out to several of the former, people who helped staff the commission, and no one seems to have it. I had IT look through their emails.
Sure.
Well, whoever was here when Jasmine was here working in IT is the people who were able to give us access. Because that's
The
when
IT team reports to me, and I went up there and talked to all of them, so I don't
some,
know.
but that's
who
where
has
it came from. Because Jasmine, because I checked with her too, and it was not her, but she was the one who got it done.
so was it, because there are, and for some reason, there are two pages.
Yeah, but
And-
we only have access to one of
Okay,
them.
right, but I don't know, like the other city Facebook pages that we have, is there a central, like this IT handle, where it set all of them up and then they?
Okay, one of the things, I think there's been, like, Facebook pages have sort of grown out of control, if you will, like, there's been a lot of fits and
Yeah.
starts depending on the needs and
Sure.
different committees. So I do know the mayor's director of marketing, one of her main projects is to try to sort of operationalize a lot of our communications, and she's putting together guidelines for the departments and trying to wrangle some of this. So let me see if she has any insights. But Autumn and I can take another pass at trying to ask everybody. Like, I went so far as to ask our Chief Information Technology Officer to do a back-end email search to try to figure this out, and we couldn't find anything.
Sure. I mean, if there's something, I mean, if we ask that, and there's no way to, and they haven't
I
gotten
couldn't
to
figure
it,
out who owns it. I
then
think
it's, you know what I'm saying?
someone thought it might have been
Brenda.
Brenda.
Yeah, it was
So
Brenda at
Brenda
one point.
started it, it may have been
Yes.
into her personal.
But she might have started the other one.
She started the other one.
We do
It's
have
not.
Instagram.
Yes.
You have Twitter, X, and
So-
we can post, you can share anything on Facebook. I think you were able to post, Tom, or were you able to?
I can post, if you send me stuff, I can post on the Facebook.
So I was just gonna say, if, once we get those photos, if we wanna just post them up on our.
And we can post anything as well through like an administrative services
Yeah.
or through the mayor's office page if it's, you know, if it's relevant, and then
Sure.
it can be
Yeah,
liked and
see.
shared that way.
March 20th, 2023, I hope this finds you both. FYI, to me and you should both have access to the CHR social media now. So it was done,
Was it, did she say Facebook, or she just said social media?
no, it was Facebook.
Facebook?
Yeah.
We'll do some
Well,
more
I mean,
digging.
also, the social media committee folk need to have some access, because we need to be able to manage.
Well, if we, for right, so.
That is
so-
from
So
Jasmine.
right now, if we just have Instagram, then, and you said Twitter, we have?
We have everything else.
So, I'd rather just have like something out in general, until we can get,
And Tom can post
Yeah.
something.
Sarah.
yeah.
There's Pam, maybe?
This says, if you're having trouble accessing the account, I will have to loop you in directly with Sarah to try and troubleshoot.
Autumn and I will take another look. To be honest, it's sort of like we look, we don't hear anything, and then.
She did it.
comes, so
It was
we'll-
her.
we'll look.
All right,
Sarah
I'll
Camp
forward.
works in neighborhood services, so.
What's the hesitation with starting over?
There's,
Yeah, I mean, that's, that was,
We have two now.
that was another one.
What was that?
That was another idea. I mean, I think if you have if we start a new one, and if we can post
I'd
the
rather-
old one, we direct people to the new one.
and if you do it under the CHR
That
email,
might be the only
That might
option.
be the only
I send it
Yes,
out,
we're
so-
gonna put whatever we open up is going to be under the email that,
Right.
the generic.
I'd rather wait, but to have, instead of have 3 pages that has this now, to see if we can get,
Well, we started doing, we have access to the second page, right? So she
Yeah.
activate that one.
we don't have access to anything.
we can only post, we
We
can't,
can't do anything to anything.
That was the first one. That
We can post, and that's it,
that's all we can do,
all we can do.
because we can't
That is
deactivate.
the
Yeah, I
only
would
permission
have
that we
said
have.
just
The
deactivate.
second page is the first page.
To the second page, we have no access to the first page.
So for the second page, we can only post, to the first page, we can't do anything. Can't do anything.
So there's someone who's an administrator for the second, but we don't know who that, because there has to be.
It's Sarah.
We did,
Don't
I'll
have
ask
proof.
her.
Anyway.
You have proof. Like, listen,
When you go to the second page to post.
I didn't mean to, I didn't mean to open up the thing.
No, just not.
you can only, so the way that it was run is our Facebooks, our personal Facebooks were added as admins. And you can't do anything else.
And it doesn't show you who else is the admin?
That's weird.
And now a lot of the pages are all managed through Meta.
Yeah, Meta Business.
Like, they changed everything.
So,
We'll try to look at it. I am going to copy everybody on the communications and social media on my correspondence on this. So everyone can
We
see the
believe you.
whole trail, like,
No, please, we believe you.
and we have a lot going on, so I feel like we've tried a few times, but it's not like something I try every day. But we will continue looking at this.
I just, yeah, I mean, we can, I don't wanna stay on this, and if we can, like, so, if we can get on, if we can do Instagram, we'll do Instagram. If we can at least post on the second page, and then Tom can post on the second page, so if we have anything that we feel is relatable under the guidelines of the Commission on Human Rights, let's send an email to Tom and post it, events.
Yeah, just shoot me a text message, because I can do it right from my phone. Just shoot me a
I don't think we should post on the second page. I think we should just start a new page. It's a new commission. We have a lot of new things that's going on, and we should be directing people to where we are going, the direction we're going in. And if we can only post on the second page, at some point, we'll have to start a new Facebook page anyway.
I would recommend the committee meet and also maybe come up with a content calendar, because I'm not posting unless someone tells us what, you know, like Bailey's happy to help. But again, like, what do you want to highlight? What's the strategy? Like, do you want to schedule them to go out on the big holidays, on, you know, a couple times a month? So I think it would probably be worth having a subcommittee meeting for whoever would like to.
So, I mean, so Rosie and Richard, but
Yeah.
Rosie's not here, if you guys want to schedule something.
Yeah, I'm just not supposed to reach out, it's just been a busy month for me.
Listen, I get it. Please.
So, back on the reception itself, which unfortunately I had to leave early unexpectedly for something else, but, one thing that I, still don't see, like when we send invites out, or we don't do an announcement of who our awardees are in advance. It's only if you come, and then you'll see who the awardees are, in effect. But we still, like, when you send out the invite, you don't announce who the awardees are, or publicize them. That's one thing I just keep on noticing a lot.
So I would be looking for some leadership from the commission to drive the event. So our
Yeah.
team was kind of putting stuff together. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, that's great.
And next year, if anyone wants to kind of get involved in the planning, it was really kind of Bailey was pretty much doing it on her own.
Yeah.
So I would welcome that.
And in terms of elected officials who were there, I only saw 3 people. Is that all?
The
We
entire
were
council
up
was
to-
invited and sent probably 6 reminders.
Yeah.
It was just,
So I saw Corey.
There was another
I
gentleman.
think there was something else happening at the same
Yeah,
I
time.
we
know
were-
Sonia Frederick emailed me, she had to work late. She
Yeah.
wanted to come.
She really wanted to be there, she sent,
Sonia.
Tanya. We must have been up against other stuff, and that's not the first, last year, we just happened to get a great date,
Yeah.
and everybody happened to be there, and, we just happened
I
to,
think-
before though, we were
Oh,
Again.
up
Yeah, we're-
against the NAACP gala.
yeah.
So it was not well attended at all.
right. But I think with the changing of the date will help out.
I think that'll be a big part of it too. June's crazy, you have Pride, you have Juneteenth, you have the parades, you have lots of local events, primary stuff. But again, excellent job.
No, absolutely. Excellent job. Any more discussion for the reception? All right. Move on to new business. So I had put this in here, summer events in August, summer events. And it was just for if we wanted to table at any of the summer events that are going on, any of the, like, Live at 5, not all, but, one of them or two of them, however, it's the plaza events, things of that nature. So for the event committee, I guess that's something for us to discuss.
Yep.
So we can pick a time to gather and discuss about that, and who can do all that, et cetera, For that, what we'll do is, once we meet and gather and kind of decide what we want to do at, and where we can be at, we'll announce that to the whole commission to see if anybody else would like to, that's not in that committee, would like to join and whatnot.
We're gonna do that soon though, because.
I'll send.
Aaron, one of the things that, the exec committee should think about, in support of the city of Albany is to try to attend the police pop-up barbecue. And the reason why I say that, I was in a meeting this morning at MVP Arena with, Pastor Trainer, Sports Arena on the 29th, but the whole purpose of that, event is to bring the community together with the police department, because they feel like there's some type of anger there.
Oh, there is.
People don't want to work with the police department.
There absolutely is.
Right, but the part of it that he addressed this morning is every police officer is not bad, right? We all know that, right?
Absolutely.
Just like if we have family that works on a city truck or drive a cab or work in a state office building and something happens, we want all of our family members to return home at the end of the day, and the police officers, their families want them to return home. So we all live in the city of Albany. At some point, we have to learn how to get along, right? We have to learn how to get along. The other thing is, some police officers are bad, I don't know which ones, because I don't encounter, bad things with police officers. But that doesn't mean that everybody does it, okay? But, what they basically was trying to say is that we all live here. We have to, at some point, learn how to get along. And what better way to bring the community? You're talking about colonies, the whole Albany, that's going to be a huge event. It's going to be sports all over that arena, for children, right? So they don't want this to continue to be a bad vibe thing, the community can't deal with the police. Now, some community can deal with the police. We just
We
had
shouldn't have to deal with the police.
Pardon me?
So we shouldn't have to deal with the police.
No, you shouldn't have to deal with them, but you have to learn. Some people don't know how to respect the police, right? They don't respect them, whatever the case may be. I don't have those issues, so
But
I don't know what other
people think.
Right, it is.
Even upon a code, you have to.
Yes, it is, but you can't take out what one person does to you. So if I come at Tisha in some way,
So is there a schedule?
Yeah, the event is the 29th, well,
June or July?
The MVP Arena is, June the 29th.
Can you send us?
But the pop-up barbecues are on the police website.
We can ask the police to send us
And
a
they're all
calendar
over,
with that part.
they're all over, they're all over.
Have the meeting to get that
Good.
discussion on the agenda,
Say it one more time?
discuss this on our agenda for the event.
Yeah, that's what I was leading to, we'll add that to, agenda for the events committee.
Maybe to do that, I was gonna say, for some, I'm sure this will be helpful for everyone, when the committee gets together, if you could give us a calendar, it doesn't have to be for the rest of the year, but at least for the next.
Sure, Guy.
So that we can,
And we have that document that you guys put
We had started
together.
one, I can have.
I'm just trying to make it.
So,
We appreciate that.
We can ask around on the city side. I will ask the NEUs, the neighborhood engagement officers. I will ask them for a schedule of some of their events, working with the police. We will look at the stuff that's city sponsored, and we'll put together what we know about, but there's probably a lot of things we don't. So we'll put that in the document we have, send out the link, and then everyone can plug in any holes if there's events we're not aware of.
Time as I get it.
Yeah, we post it.
Yep, if you just send myself or Autumn or Bailey, we can.
Can we have all that to our meeting though, so we are under one umbrella when it comes to community and non-profit engagement and so that we're on one page.
Yeah, that makes
so the police barbecues run through August 22nd is the last one at Hoffman Park. And I think they probably have community tables there, but there's never had one in my
I think
area.
sometimes we go,
It's up to the neighborhood,
Yeah.
usually work with whoever the leader and usually they're sponsored, kind of part by the community groups, part by the police, and I think they all use different format depending on,
Yeah.
what they want to do.
There's also a big event, if I recall, in September in Washington Park. So I think it's the community coming together or something, which has a lot of...
on September 15th, there's going to be a peace ceremony that is going to involve a lot of organizations that Carrie, one of our audience, is putting together. It's at the Lake House. There's going to be lanterns we have 168 lanterns for people to pass throughout the Capital Region, and we're going to have speakers. Snug came last time we had, but we're opening it up this time to bring in more organizations. So we've started reaching out.
This other event is one that we've been doing every year. It's either September or October. It's a big event in the park with events for kids, community getting together, a lot of organizations sponsor it.
Not one of our, we.
It's something called, it's kind of like everyone coming together as one
Richard,
community.
Richard, do you have a flyer for it?
I haven't seen anything yet, but it's
No, you do, yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like.
Yeah, it sounds
I'll
like.
try and find
great. And this is something too that we'll put in the event committee.
The city clerk, so all of the event permits go.
Yeah, it would be happy it would
They
be,
don't go through my office,
it's a city co-sponsored event,
ask.
Sure. So, and this is something, we're not gonna be at everything. I wanna put that out there, but just things that we feel as the committee, when we meet, we'll talk about what we feel would be important for us to be at, and then we'll put out, so kind of do that two-part system, making that calendar, and then marking like what we feel we should be at, and then who would like to participate in this event. So like try to make it as minimal task as possible for that too.
Yeah, I know it's hard to, everyone here, we're busy, we're doing other things too, and it's called Unite the City, that's what it's called. And it happened in September, I think, last year. And it's a big event in the park.
I think there's so many events, like my HR team, we've been to 40 events this year. You could go to an infinite number.
Yeah,
So
yeah, and it's really prioritizing which events are obvious for us. Like a Live at 5 might not be obvious because it brings in a ton of people from outside.
Right.
And, but some of the events like, Juneteenth, there are events that we probably missed, the big events in down South Pearl and whatever, where we could have been present.
Sure.
But I know we're all also tied up other ways, in our own Voices event, private events in the park. So it's a question as to identifying, and then how do we, we're the ones that have to staff the table.
Looks like it might have been put on by the housing authority?
They were involved, the police were involved,
That's what I'm
county agencies were involved, I think the sheriff was involved, the DA was
Oh,
involved.
and the alert partnership.
Oh, I'm talking about the United City?
Yeah, that's who put it on alert,
Right.
and then added in other people.
All right.
Anyway.
So that'd be cool. That was,
So if you
Events
know,
of nature, we can have our table, that's what a lot of this building.
so going forward, if you know any of events and you're not on the committee, please feel free to email myself or Tom, any events that you feel are important or are happening, let us know about them, and we'll add that to when we meet as well. All right, moving forward to the August gathering. We usually have, for those who don't know, we usually have a gathering in August, right before our official gathering, and our official meeting back in September, just to kind of go over things and whatnot. So I wanted to put that on there to see if we can.
We already had it tentative.
Yes.
This planning meeting for August 15th.
Okay.
We want to do it. At least when we did the schedule.
Yeah.
A long time ago.
So, we'll put that for August, it's already
If it
on.
doesn't work, we can
Yeah.
adjust that.
so early. But I'll put it on.
I know it's also people travel at this time of year.
Day for my birthday.
Zoom in too, though.
We'll see.
This one's not a official meeting.
Yes, it's not an official meeting, but I know in the past, commissioners have liked to have this before our official one to be ready for the start of the year. So I just want to put that in you guys' brain as you're planning your summer. All right.
Would you like to keep that date or adjust it?
I'm fine with it, everybody else like that.
It would be ordinarily a regular commission meeting.
Yeah. I think that's why we need to pick that time. All right, moving on to updates. Any updates from any committees?
To the committees.
All right. Any other announcements or discussions that we'd like to?
No. Just one thing, we've read the local law, is that submitted, or? I thought we already went through all of that, because. Those are already approved? Yeah, I think we are. Right, everybody?
Yeah, we approved the
Yeah,
local
yeah,
law, I think, at the
yeah.
last meeting. Passed.
All right.
Any other discussions or topics? All right. A motion for adjournment? Second. All right. You are
All in favor?
all in favor?
Aye.
All right. All opposed?
Motion carried.
All right.